Thank you. My name is Merrill Stewart. I'm not a graduate of Sewanee, which I was. Parents probably could have afforded it, and I probably would have gotten in. But I get to relive my life at my children. I'm in the building construction business in Birmingham, and our footprint goes from Pennsylvania down to Florida. We've been in business about a quarter of a century, and we work for relationship customers. And I was asked today to talk about brand and personal management. I asked my assistant to give me the definition of brand because I hate when people come up here to this call, so I'll read this from you to the extent. It's an entire process involved in creating a unique name and image for a product in the consumer's mind through advertising campaigns with a consistent theme. Branding aims to establish a significant or differentiated presence in the market that attracts or retains loyal customers. All that is to say that every product, every being, every institution, every company, every clothing line has a brand. And those brands rise and fall depending upon the abilities of those people within those organizations. And I think every one of you has a brand. Today, Jeremy shook my hand upstairs and introduced himself. He has a brand now to me, and that he's over and he wants to meet. I just saw Mac Rose walk in. He came in here with a tie. He's a famous economist in Boston, and he knows what's going to happen this year, and maybe later on we'll learn from him. But the fact that he had a tie on, but the fact that he had a tie on projected an image of authority. Being in the construction business every day when I get up to work. Do you ever lose them? You and Rob Perigin.
No. Those two, me and Rob Perigin don't go on the same sentence.
Every day when I get up, I decide what I want to wear based upon who I'm going to meet, i.e. the brand that I want to project. A lot of times in my office, I wear my favorite shoes are Filson boots, hunting boots, and khaki pants. Today I dressed up with Gucci shoes on. But it's all about image. You know, it's perception is reality, and that's what your brand is. And I hope you have not flooded your Facebooks with drunken pictures of parties and stuff like that. And I hope you've not detailed your skin with tattoos. Because as my Sewanee daughter said the other day, tattoos do not age very well. And if you do have a tattoo, maybe they can be surgically removed later on. But seriously, if I wish to know anything about you, I can Google your name and probably within a few minutes learn something about you. And the longer you live, the more there will be things from Google. But it's all part of the brand. And we're in a reset economy right now. We've never gone this long with so much free credit, with no documentation, as we have the last several years. We are now digesting that big meal, and we will gradually pull out of it. But the pullout is value. The pullout is authenticity. Now, your parents and your grandparents and you think you're special. The reality is there's about 1 million of you graduating next May, and if you will work on your brand, you will have a better chance of getting a job. It may not be the permanent job, but it will be a job. And let me tell you, with 20 million people unemployed, jobs are important. But I'm convinced, if you work hard, you do all these things these other people said, you will get a job. It goes by that I don't get a call from somebody, and I'm going to say, tell me how you lost your job. At a print in Minneapolis, I went with a company for 20 years, lost his job last April. I said, well, volunteer, network, volunteer some more, go nonprofit, network. Well, guess what? In July, he called me, and he is now the real estate director for United Healthcare for their IT department. Great job. But you know, the best part about that is he's not quitting his Saturday volunteer job, which is volunteering for a disabled swim team in Minneapolis. And I'm convinced that somebody looked down upon him and said, you're doing good work, John, here's a job. And I mean, that's the way it works. When you give of yourself, you get so much more back in return. It's just the way life is. Don't be greedy. I mean, just give of yourself. But Be authentic in your brand. Pick your clothes that you wish to wear for interviews. Merrill went to the medical school interview and it said casual, and so he thought that was coat and tie and sandals. Well, fortunately, you got in medical school. I don't know why. And maybe it was the sandals. But in your brand, try to differentiate yourself. You've already started with Sewanee, and that's a brand. You are now branded for life. No one can ever take that away from you. You went to Sewanee. You went to a cool school where everybody loves to learn most of the time. And most of the time they behave. But most of the time they love Sewanee and they love each other. And that's the brand. The other thing that is important, do the little things that separate your brand. Be nice to the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper is the receptionist or the secretary or the assistant where you're applying for a job. Engage in small talk. That's part of your brand. Write thank you notes. You cannot write enough thank you notes. Write thank you notes to thank someone for writing you a note or something. But it gets your brand out there. Use the internet and spread your electronic brand footprint. I was talking today at lunch. We started a blog back last summer, and I post twice a week of what I see on the trail. And I get 1,500 hits a month, and nobody even knows it. I don't know where they come from. There's 1,500 different emails. And I suggested that maybe if you wanted to start a blog, go to WordPress.com, get a form, and just post a couple of times a week or once a week about what you're seeing and how you're feeling. Authenticity is the big key word. You got to be transparent in your brand. People know who you are, and you need to be a fit for that job. But be honest. And when you have written maybe a blog, you can put the tag words to it, and you can put 5, 10, 15 tag words. So when someone's searching the internet, they're going to find those tag words, and they're going to come to your blog, and then they're going to read about you as part of your brand. And you can aim these brands if you wish, but blogging on the internet is a great way to do it. You can, as I mentioned, you can design your brand. I design my brand every morning when I look at the closet. Right now, I have a small car that gets 30 miles per gallon, and I'm trying to look for a man car, a contractor car that gets 30 miles per gallon that doesn't look wrong. And I've had great fun doing it the last 6 or 7 months. I looked at Mercedes, the little Mercedes SUV. I said, you know, nobody's going to buy from a contractor selling a Mercedes. And then I looked at Priuses, and I thought they'd laugh. It's not an SUV, it's not very good for construction sites. So then I looked at the new GM Terrain, which is kind of a man car, 30 miles a gallon. I was going to get the 4-cylinder, and it gets 32 miles a gallon. It doesn't go uphill very fast. So that's not very good. So I'm still out there looking. My latest one is the Range Rover LR3, which I'm going to get one 4 or 5 years old, so it looks like I've got value. But it doesn't get to 30 miles per gallon, which is not part of our brand. We built a lead campus last year, which is part of our brand. It's a cool place. We have civic groups come and meet, and it's part of our brand. So, you know, bottom line here is hopefully your Facebook's cleaned up, because if it's not, you may never get it cleaned up. And just remember, you know, you only have so many minutes and hours in this earth, and do everything that leverages your brand. Do it right. You know, the way you eat, the way you put your fork down, the way you hold your napkin, it's all part of your brand. And if you have it right, it's another small tool combined with everything else to be successful.
Thank you, Merrill. I hope everybody has